because when he was asked about a reporter about this, he just went along for the ride. So the White House and the president have been lying about this case from the beginning, from the Supreme Court to the...
Yeah, look at this. Hey, Chris Van Hollen, I went ahead and changed your office plaque for you. Chris Van Hollen, senator from El Salvador. Oh my God, they're so fucking stupid. That's the other thing. They're doing like a bunch of AI art to be like, oh, he wants to kiss and make out. He wants to make out with the MS-13 gang member. He wants to have gay sex with the MS-13 gang member. LOL. And these are like 65-year-old, 75-year-old adults, okay? No self-respect, no decency whatsoever. Oh, we're epically owning these people.
It's good to be home. Now we need to end the illegal abduction of
Bukele.
and bring him home too.
Pedazo de nazi puto.
We're joined by his wife, Jennifer, by his mother, Cecilia, by his brother, Cesar, and thank all of the refugees who are joining us in solidarity with the Constitution and Kilmore. Look, I'm a little sleep deprived, and I want to be as clear as possible about what this is about and what it's not about. So I'm going to read the remarks that I wrote on the plane ride home. As the federal courts have said, we need to bring Mr. Abrego Garcia home to protect his constitutional rights to due process. And it's also important that people understand this case is not just about one man. It's about protecting the constitutional rights of everybody who resides in the United States. If you deny the constitutional rights of one man, you threaten the constitutional rights and due process for everyone else in America. The Fourth Circuit put it very clearly in its strong opinion yesterday, and I quote, "It is difficult in some cases to get to the very heart of the matter, but in this case, it is not hard at all. The government, in this case the Trump administration, is asserting a right to stash away residents of this country in foreign prisons without the semblance of due process that is the foundation of our constitutional order. Further, it claims, in essence, that because it has rid itself of custody, that there is nothing that can be done. This should be shocking not only to judges, but to the intuitive sense.
Yeah, I will talk about the liberals going crazy too.
Far removed from the courthouses still hold dear.
No, Kilmar, not back on U.S. soil, but Senator Chris Van Hollen's efforts, at the very least, move the needle in the direction of inevitably bringing him back to U.S. soil, to his family, to his friends, to his co-workers, to his brothers in the union. Okay? He has MS-13 knuckle tattoo. I know. Every fucking knucklehead on the planet is coming in and going, he has an MS-13 knuckle tattoo. It's like, who? No. What the fuck are you talking about? He's outside CCOT now. He's in another prison that's less insane. You want to know something that is hilarious about the knuckle tattoo situation? The fucking ICE agents, if he truly had knuckle tattoos initially that suggested MS-13 gang affiliation, would have put that in the report. That's it. They wouldn't have run around for the past week or so. The defenders of this deportation regime wouldn't have been running around being like, well, he's wearing a Chicago Bulls hat, even though he lived in Maryland. Clearly, He's MS-13. They would have started off with that, don't you think? It was never even on any of the fucking, it was never even presented as evidence. MS-13 is super tatted up. Okay? If you're MS-13, you're tatted up. People don't necessarily hide that they're MS-13 affiliated. Okay? The idea that, like, the Department of Homeland Security failed the precursory analysis of his tattoos for multiple years at this point, only to recognize them after the administration openly admitted that they wrongfully deported this man to El Salvador, after a previous immigration court judge said that he specifically is not MS-13 and is in threat. He is under threat by MS-13. If he were to be deported to El Salvador, he would most likely get killed. The idea that, like, all of those things happen, but magically now he has MS-13 knuckle tattoos is fucking ridiculous. Also, guess what, dude? Due process. This is why due process is a necessity. I know it has 300,000 likes on Twitter. It does not matter. The president can just lie about whatever the fuck he wants to, and people will just eat it up.
They summed up the issue at stake perfectly. And that's why the Supreme Court, in a 9-0 decision, ordered the Trump administration to facilitate the return of Mr. Abrego Garcia. Now, the Trump administration wants to flat out lie about what this case is about. They want to change the subject. They want to make it about something else. And they are clouding the orders from the Federal District Court, the Fourth Circuit Court, and the Supreme Court to facilitate his return. That's why I traveled to El Salvador, leaving here on Wednesday. And I want to express my gratitude to members of my family and members of my staff who agree that we all must be prepared to take risks because of the current risk to our Constitution itself. In addition to having a variety of discussions on bilateral issues between the United States and El Salvador, I had two main goals. One was to urge the government of El Salvador not to be complicit in the illegal abduction and detention of Mr.
Serious question, since when has it been illegal to just be in a gang? That's actually a really good question. And it also shows that we have completely lost sight of how these things are supposed to be. You're not wrong. It is technically, and I know people will lose their minds when I say this, it's not illegal to be gang affiliated. Okay? It's entirely dependent on what your affiliation is. It's entirely dependent on what kind of investigation has been conducted and what kind of facilitation of gang activity that you participated in. So yes, it is technically not even illegal to be in a gang, which is so crazy to say because when those words even come out of my mouth, okay? When those words even come out of my mouth, it's like it comes across like I'm living in a separate planet here. Like people will hear that and go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Of course it is. No, it's not. It's illegal to do a crime. It's kind of a goofy point, to be fair. It's not. It's not even a goofy point. It's actually a very serious point. And the larger consideration here is how far we've moved the needle away from like what due process used to look like and what the criminal justice system used to look like. Now, this is just for the United States of America, okay? And considering that there is now a vague terrorism designation for the MS-13 gang and Tren de Aragua, It doesn't even fucking matter, obviously, especially because these are deportation proceedings, so there is a lower bar to clear. But the government has even lowered that bar further by claiming everyone is a fucking terrorist without any due process whatsoever. So, you know, we've... If initially the argument was like, well, hold up, you can just say anyone and everyone is a gang member if you think that that's appropriate for any kind of criminal proceeding, you're wrong. To the government can say whoever they want is a terrorist, and there's no investigation in that process. There's no due process whatsoever, and they can just deport you. It is insane.
Abrego Garcia, and to release him. I made that request directly to the Vice President of El Salvador. The President was out of country at the time, and I had previously reported on that conversation. My principal mission was to meet with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I told his wife...
Yes, Hell's Angels would be a great example of this, except the Trump administration likes Hell's Angels. They consider them to be a white gang. That's why the Trump movement in general will always be like, Hell's Angels are going to go to battle. They fantasize about the Hell's Angels like protecting America, not realizing that half the fucking Hell's Angels are also Latino. But that's besides the point. And they're not white at all. And they consider Hell's Angels to be an American gang, an honorable gang, a gang that's going to fight against Tren de Aragua. That's the fantasy, remember? When they were hallucinating about... all of them going down the mortar. When they were hallucinating about the fucking the Aurora, Colorado apartment complex situation, claiming that Tren de Aragua had overtaken a apartment complex. They were fantasizing about they were fantasizing about how Hell's Angels are moving into Aurora, Colorado to fight the fucking Tren de Aragua gangs.
Like Jennifer and his family, that I would do everything in my power to make that happen.
Yeah, look.
And last night...
Fact check. Video does not show Hell's Angels riding to Colorado in August 2024.
8:45 p.m. here on the East Coast. I called...
Hell's Angels on their way to Aurora, Colorado to help clean up the apartments being invaded by illegals from Valenzuela. Valenzuela, baby! Raise hell. Praise death. The difference is that they're white? No, they're not even. They're not even white. They're not even fucking white.
Called Jennifer to tell her that I had met with Kilmar. And I told her what he said to me, which was first and foremost that he missed her and his family. And as he said that, you could see a tear go down his...
He looks back here, and she's on the other side. And the Republicans literally zoomed in on this to be like, he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know Kilmar Abrego Garcia's wife. He doesn't even know what she looks like. This is all a sham. And they cut it before he actually found her in the background. Like, I saw so many clips, dude. God damn, the timeline is so fucking polluted with, like, the dumbest shit. I swear to God. Oh. It's so stupid.
Now, getting a meeting with Kilmar was not easy. On Wednesday, I met with the Vice President of El Salvador and asked if I could meet with him. And the answer was no. I asked if I returned the following week whether I could meet with him. The answer was no. I asked if I could call him on the phone. The answer was no. I asked if his wife Jennifer could call him on the phone. The answer was no. No to his wife, no to his mother, no to his daughter.
Please let this go. He is a gang member, not a U.S. citizen. Move on to better things like Free Luigi the American. Wait, what? Why did the inner city press say he moved to Santa Ana? Please let this go. He is not a citizen. There are bigger things to fight for. For example, fight for justice for Luigi, not an illegal gang member. Shit like this makes me want to quit on the spot. I swear to God, dude. Land back, land back, land back. Land back, though. Land back. I swear to God. I don't even know what's going on here. What about Native American people? This citizenship talk is so juvenile. Native Americans are only birthright citizens. His ancestors walked into this land and got citizenship that way. What a clown. Chatter. I feel like you need to go back to the bot farm that you came from. What the fuck? Hey guys, not a federal agent here. Definitely just a liberal. I love screaming land back and then turning around and being like, immigrants should be falsely smeared as terrorists and I will believe them, and simultaneously demand, like, how can you be like pro Native American rights and then demand land back while simultaneously being like, and Kilmar Abrego Garcia should be executed in CCOD? Like, do you think we couldn't see your previous takes in the chat? What's going on here? What bot farm? I am a Cali, that was speaking about Native American land back. I'm a Cali Native American. A Native American that's pro Luigi Mangione, but also pro white nativist immigration is hilarious. Okay, well then, you are perhaps the dumbest person. If you're not, me assuming that you're a federal agent here was actually in your favor. I thought that you had, something going on up here, and it wasn't just like a bunch of quarters, nickels, and dimes just rattling off in there in a tin can. White nativist Native American is hilarious. It feels like a bit. Lol, bro, you are so confused. I am real. You will not call me dumb to my face, bro. No, I will. I promise you I will. I am right now. I'm telling you right now, you are very dumb. On the one hand, you're saying land back to Native Americans. On the other hand, you're saying America's white nativist policies and reactionary propaganda is totally valid and effective on me, a Native American who wants land back. How the fuck? Have you never heard from anyone? No one is illegal on stolen land. Basic concepts. Hashtag Native Americans for genocide. Hashtag Native Americans for white nativism. This has to be a bit. No, there are people like this. Yes, there are reactionary Native Americans as well. It's just funny that it exists. It's very stupid. Hey, you the one who fucked prostitutes from a brothel which was raided for human trafficking? No. I hope this helps. The answer is no, but I'm pretty sure you knew that already. But thank you. Thank you for asking. I assume now that you know the truth, you will go, oh, my bad. Perhaps. Hassan, why do you refuse to have or engage with Ukrainians on your streams? Because you talk about the importance of hearing opinions of people and receiving their end of the war, and yet you continue to ignore them? That's not true. The fuck? One, I have had Ukrainians on the stream before, and secondly, there was a dude who was a part of the Ukrainian Defense Forces that wanted to come on, but he never followed up. I was actually excited. We made sure that he was like he was the real deal, but yeah, of course I would have I would have Ukrainians on the stream. Why wouldn't I? The fuck? Stop wasting your time on disingenuous chatter trying to distract you from the subject matter. I know. Yeah. I wanted to have the #1 lover of Ukraine on the stream. His name is Ryan Ruth. Free Ryan Ruth, the political prisoner.
So the following day, which was yesterday, I decided to give it another try by driving to Sikot. Sikot is the notorious prison where Kilmar was taken when he was abducted. I was accompanied by a lawyer for Kilmar's wife Jennifer and mother Cecilia, Chris Newsom.
You can find me on Twitter, dude. I barely discovered you, law. Okay, well, you're still stupid. I'm sorry. If you literally are eating away, if you are personally a Native American with multiple fucking degrees, you're failing to comprehend why I'm calling you stupid. I'm saying your position is stupid, okay? If you are Native American, as you claim, you know better than anybody else what white supremacy and white nativist policies look like, since your ancestors were fucking ethnically cleansed by the Anglo-Saxon settlers. Okay? How can you not follow that logical through line to its inevitable conclusion of a random Salvadoran man who has come to U.S. soil to work an honest job and marry an American citizen, have a child here? How can you fucking turn around and be like, nah, this guy's actually a MS-13 gang member? No, it's not. He's an illegal, point blank, period. He did not get sent there for no reason. Yes, he did. He did get sent there for no reason. You are so fucking stupid. Oh my God. Would you ever collab with a Mexican? Or do you just eat our food al pastor? I collab with a Mexican every day. His name is Mauricio, also known as March. I think some chatters think he's actually Asian now because we meme about that all the time. Autentico. Yeah, anyway, I will respect his race change to Asian. Anyway, stop giving your Twitter out. Oh my God, you're too stupid to understand how the internet works, I think. Listen, chatter. When the Anglo-Saxon hordes of settlers came on to your ancestral homeland, the justification for wiping out your great-great-great-great-grandparents were identical to the justifications that you are recirculating in this chat. That this person has no right to be here, this person is violent, this person has done violence, he's a gang member. It is a modernized version of the Manifest Destiny white nativist arguments made. This is the tragic irony that you fail to comprehend. This is why I'm calling you stupid. If you're actually a Native American who is eating the white nativist anti-immigrant propaganda, you're a little dumb. I'm sorry. Please reconsider your stand, okay? The very same people, the very same groups, and the very same ideology that called your ancestors savages that must be purged from this land that will belong to the Anglo-Saxon Protestants are the very same fucking groups now saying the exact same thing. It's the same ideology. If you cannot comprehend this, I don't know what to tell you. This is the point, okay? Whether I assume that you're a federal agent or not is irrelevant, okay? That's more so just a meme.
About 3 kilometers outside of Sikot, we were pulled over by soldiers.
And it is not just Kilmar Abrego Garcia that is falsely deported. The reason why we are talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia is because out of the 90% of all people that have been deported to CICOT thus far that have no criminal record whatsoever, he was the only one that the federal government accidentally admitted a mistaken deportation on. He literally said, or the federal government's immigration attorney accidentally revealed in a moment of honesty that they had fucked up. That's it. That is why this is a story. The reason why this is a story, despite the fact that it is simply the tip of the iceberg, okay? The reason why this is a story, in spite of the fact that it's only the tip of the iceberg, is because of that reason. Because it's such